Guys, great to see you. New series of Ripper Street. I want to start by saying the thing I like most about the series is the long arcs that you get throughout it, from the first series and through all the episodes as well. So I was wondering how we begin this series and what we can expect the progression to be.
We find Inspector Reed, no longer Inspector Reed, Mr. Reed, by the beach. He's moved to the seaside with his daughter after a sort of, climactic end of the third season where he's shot by Long Susan, and then they get rid of Long Susan's father, Swift, and make sure that he dies, really, but it sort of kill him in a way. And then he leaves Whitechapel for good and goes and tries and starts to have a new life. And so that's where he is. And you're banged up.
I am, yes. I'm in Newgate Prison and the mother of a 3-year-old.
We've heard how harsh the times are. We've seen certainly on screen, and obviously you must have learnt more about it by doing the show. Was there anything surprising that you learnt, or was it harsher than you ever imagined it to be?
I don't think I was surprised by anything. I think, now especially, I feel that I sort of have a relatively good handle of or I've sort of soaked up as much as I could about the times, and yeah, they would have been horrific. I think I was more surprised about the fact that I was allowed to look as good as I got to look in the prison, because that is a complete fiction. That would, yes, exactly. That was movie magic, because that would never have happened. But I remember the first time I saw myself in the prison, I was going, wow, look, I look really good. Long Susan manages to look great wherever she is, but yeah, no, they were, horrific conditions, truly horrific conditions. And I think, there's a great storyline with another character who's also looking to swing, and it's really heartbreaking. I found those scenes really heartbreaking to sort of watch, somebody who's on death row and for something that they may possibly not have committed. Mm-hmm. And I think for Long Susan also what it must have been like to raise a child, in those conditions, to have this sort of joy of one's life raised in a pit of darkness. But I think Long Susan is industrious as ever, and she makes the best of any situation.
So how long are you allowed again? Is it 3 years?
I think it's 3 years,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Pleading the belly.
The end of the last series was a very climactic finale, and it went viral online and people were talking about it. Have you ever experienced anything like that before, where people are just talking about a show constantly?
No, not really. And I'm not plugged in. I'm not on Twitter or anything, so I don't. It sort of passed me by quite, So it's lovely to hear that. It's good. It's great. But no.
So this is the fourth series. What was the move like, or did you notice any big changes when you moved from BBC to Amazon?
Not really. The nuts and bolts are the same. The
Absolutely.
Shooting is the same. I think Richard, the writer, the creator, they must feel it a lot, because they're given. I think they've had equal and more freedom to, they're not constrained by time so much either, because it can be. In streaming, it doesn't have to be an hour. It doesn't have to be a BBC hour, which is 58 minutes or something. So if it comes in at 1 hour and a half or 40 minutes, that's okay. And I think they can probably get away with a bit more blood and guts.
Mm-hmm. In terms of recreating the era as well, it looks fantastic. It looks authentic, as far as I can tell, certainly. So what's it like recreating that, and what's it like filming on these locations?
It's incredible. they are just, we have the most incredible production teams working on Ripper Street, and I think it's because for them, we were saying it's a challenge for them to be able to produce this kind of a world. It's something that you don't always get on, say, something set in modern times. And it's magical, you step onto the set and you feel like you are in the world of Ripper. And what's lovely about this show is that the writing does it, all the actors that come on board do it, all the different departments work together to create the world of Ripper, and it is a very all-encompassing world.
And we came on set and there was a phone in the office, and that was quite a big deal. Mm-hmm. Everyone was sort of looking at it, because it would have been a huge deal for them, and not knowing what to do when it was ringing. You'd sort of hello, and they were just getting used to it. That must have been what it would. It must have been, like the first mobile phones strapped to you.
Does it feel like, obviously, having done so many episodes now, does it feel like you have to up the ante with this series, or is that a natural progression given the backstory that we now have for all the characters?
I think think there's a certain sense of wanting to do bigger and better, don't you think?
I'm sure, yeah.
And especially, like you say, from the writers. But then we just come on board and
just come on and
play.
come and do it.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they, the lovely. I mean, you said you very kindly said that it was the lovely character arcs are great, and that's great for us as well because it's like you feel like you can do anything after a while because you know the character very well, and the writer writes very well for the character, beautifully, and they want to push you into different directions, so it's good fun. It's good fun.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of the development of the characters, we spoke briefly about how they might progress in this series. Have you got ideas already for where they might go after that or beyond that, if indeed we see more from them?
No idea.
No.
I know that's a sort of wonderfully surprising thing. You have no idea. I mean, like season 3, I had no idea. I mean, I had a certain sense that Susan would sort of become some kind of godfather of Whitechapel. I just didn't know that it would play itself out in the way that it did. No clue. I think Reed as well has gone on such a huge journey and so many ups and downs. So, yeah, who knows? Who knows where we get flung this time, if we do. Yeah.
One of the new characters joining the cast is Matthew Lewis. So can you tell us a bit about working with him? And also, when you go back on set, does it feel great to be back in the company of friends, I guess?
It's lovely. Yeah. Matthew Lewis, it's hard when someone's drinking every day, but that's, you sort of get, Oh, fine, okay. Yeah.
He doesn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, no, he's lovely.
Yeah.
He's really lovely. It's very exciting getting new people in like David Threlfall and Matthew, and it's great.
They're so
sort of
wonderful.
they really
And
are.
like you were saying, actually, that it's a real. It feels like a sort of lovely nod to the show that they agree to. These wonderful actors agree to be part of the show. Really flattering. It sort of reinforces the confidence we have in the show that it is something special and it is an amazing world to be a part of and story to be a part of. And they add so much, I think. That's what's great. And very quickly they all become part of the bigger family, I know that's sort of on there, but really the Ripper Street family is a very large one. And it very much feels like that on set.
There's a photo going around. It's been sort of mocked up by, maybe it was somebody in the office, of the main characters and then all the baddies and goodies, but mainly the baddies. And it's sort of huge. It's this great big... And it looks wonderful because they're all in sort of period poses and great costumes, and and you realise it's like a big, demented rep company, a gallery of
Do you enjoy that element
characters.
of the costumes and because they look fantastic, and I think we don't get that anymore. I guess people.
No. I'm very Yours are astonishing. Just brilliant, but
incredible.
it's really we've got a wonderful designer and.
When you first picked up the script, did you know, or did you have a sense of how long the series would go and how much it would be, how popular it would be, I guess?
No, you never know. You just sort of hope for the best and expect the worst. But you sort of think, I find it very different. It's when it's you doing it, you're sort of watching like that.
Yeah.
I am anyway.
I am too. Well, not you.
No, not
Not
you.
on each
no,
other.
no,
Yes.
no,
Yeah.
Then I go, that's me again. Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's but it's been a treat though. I mean, a treat that it has gone on so long because it's true. You don't know. Everyone comes with best intentions and everyone works really hard to ensure that they're at least doing their part in telling the story as best they can. But then you don't know that it's necessarily going to gel as well as it does. And
and there are a bunch of great shows which haven't haven't gone past series 2, and you wonder why. And it's a funny thing.
It's not an exact science, and therefore I always find it so funny when they sort of try and when they debate what should be given money, what shouldn't, because it's just not an exact science. Most films, most TV shows that have done really well, nobody could have predicted that they would. In fact, lots of people would have put money on the fact that they wouldn't do well, and they have. So I think that the truth is what you have to do is just back storytelling. Back as much as you can, and you'll get things that really work.
Mm-hmm. And finally, can I just ask you one question? What is the one aspect that you are most keen for fans to see for the new series?
Well, I'm really excited about the new characters. I can't wait. I think there's some really great scenes and storylines there, and that's most exciting for me.
Yeah. Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys! Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey